Welcome to week 3, lecture 2, concept of load training 2. Objective of this lecture is to recall the health specific fitness variable and to describe health specific fitness variable training load. The concept of load training would be applied to both the types of fitness. We'll start by health specific fitness variable. So lecture 2 objective is first to recall the health specific fitness variable and then to describe the training load for health specific fitness variable. The ultimate outcome of this lecture is you should be able to demonstrate to use the training load concept to improve your health specific fitness variables as well as to write the training load concepts for health specific fitness variable. Let's start by recollecting what are health specific fitness. So under health specific fitness, you have cardio fitness, muscular strength fitness, muscular endurance fitness, and flexibility fitness. Now, before you go ahead and describe the training load, just recall the training load we are talking about is to describing the intensity, volume, and frequency. We have already covered the frequency in terms of density that is required to describe when you train an athlete to improve their health specific fitness or sport specific fitness. Let's cover how to describe intensity and work, which is actually called as together as a work done for a given fitness variable or training variable, and let's connect it with health specific fitness variable starting with cardio fitness. With respect to cardio fitness, intensity can be written as percent HRR, percent HR max, RPE, or percent VO2 max. And with respect to volume, it can be described as sets into distance or sets into duration, or exercise into sets into duration, or exercise into sets into distance. At the end of this lecture, you will find out that though these are very common method to describe the volume, which one is more better that describes the work done for a given workout session and then thereby for a given week session. Let's start by describing intensity to describe the work done for cardio fitness. This intensity can be classified as moderate, vigorous, maximal, or near maximal as per the ACSM's guideline. Now, whenever you do a cardio training, it's very obvious that you say my cardio training is very hard, my cardio training is moderate. But using this reference, you can very objectively define your cardio intensity and thereby monitor, calculate your training load for cardio training or cardio workout. Let's see with an example. You prescribe a weekly workout to improve your cardio fitness where you plan to do cardio for 3 times a week. You plan to do with 50 to 75% of HRR. Now using the reference table, 50 to 75% of HRR comes under moderate to vigorous. So the workout that you plan to do for a given week is moderate to vigorous intensity where you can objectively convert 50% of percent HRR to beats per minute using Carbonian formula. That's how you describe cardio intensity using the reference table and objectively converting it into beats per minute. Let's take second example where you plan to work out with moderate intensity, but without using this CRF intensity classification, you are not aware moderate intensity means what should be the number. So using the reference table, now you know that moderate intensity means in between 40 to 59%. So again using a Carbonian formula, you can convert 40% of HRR into beats per minute and very objectively define the cardio intensity for the given workout. So that's how you can use intensity and describe your per workout and per week cardio work in an objective manner. Let's see how do you use volume to describe the work of cardio workout. Let's start by using sets into distance or sets into duration. Here, a weekly workout routine where you plan to train your cardio fitness for 3 times a week, and you plan to train 20 minutes per workout. So, using the definition sets into duration, you can calculate the volume as 60 minutes for a week. How that comes? You exercise one set, you do it for 20 minutes. So per session is 20 minutes, and you do it 3 times in a week. So total of 60 minutes. That's how you come with an understanding that your per week volume is 60 minutes. Let's describe the cardio workout with respect to distance. Assuming that you are doing a cardio routine for a very longer period of time, where you are not focusing on the duration, but you're focusing on the distance that you covered, and you plan to do 25 minutes workout. In the 25 minutes workout, you plan to cover 5 kilometers. Let's say that's your baseline. So you do one sets of 5 kilometers. So one workout, you cover 5 kilometers. You are exercising 3 times a week. So total weekly volume comes to be around 15 kilometers. Just another way of describing your work for cardio routine when you use distance rather than duration. Now let's describe the volume with another set of formula where you use exercise, sets and duration. The new would be adding the exercise and calculating the volume. You have two exercises. You have prescribed two exercises. Every exercise you do one set, and every set you cover 5 kilometers. So instead of 5 kilometers as seen in the previous example, in example number 3, you are covering total of 10 kilometers per workout, and you are doing it 3 times a week. So total of 30 kilometers per week of work for improving your cardio fitness. So as you see, as your workout routine complexity increases, describing the volume with respect to exercise and sets will give you much more meaningful information about the training load that you have prescribed. Let's jump to the next fitness variable, muscular strength, and describe the volume. Apart from sets, repetition, exercise sets and repetition, another way to describe muscular strength workout is sets per week per muscle groups. Let's take with an example where you describe the weekly workout for muscular strength improvement in terms of sets per week per muscle groups. Here you plan to train 10 sets per week per muscle groups for a given week. So you have prescribed 2 workout sessions per week. So per session you plan to train 5 sets per week per muscle groups. One way of describing your work with an aim to improve your muscular strength. Let's consider example number 2 where you use sets and repetition to describe the volume. In this case, a very straightforward and simple way, you exercise 3 times and 10 repetition. However, this description of volume does not tell you what is the total number of sets you do per workout and thereby for per week. So even though sets and repetition is very commonly used practice, it doesn't describe the entire picture of the work done for a resistance training routine. An alternate can be to use exercise, sets and repetition. Let's see whether it gives a bigger picture or not. Here you add an exercise. You plan to do 4 exercises. every exercise you plan to do 3 times. So a total volume per workout comes to be around 12 sets. And you are doing it 2 times a week. So it is repeated again. So a total weekly volume comes to be around 24 sets. Now that's give a more better information with respect to work done for a muscular strength. Hence, apart from using sets and repetitions, you should be using exercise sets and repetition and combining it with sets per week per muscle groups rather than simply writing sets and repetition to describe your work volume. Now let's describe muscular strength workout with respect to intensity. Intensity for muscular strength is written as percent 1 RM, multiple of RM or RPE, where RM stands for repetition maximal and RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion, which will be covered in lecture number 4. Let's see how do you use percent 1 RM. Using the reference table here, 100% of 1 RM means you are able to lift only one time. So the weight that you use should enable you to perform only one repetition. As you move down to the table, 90% of 1 RM means you are able to perform only 4 repetitions. 75% of 1 RM means you are able to perform only 10 repetitions. This is one way to describe intensity with an aim to improve your muscular strength. So when you are trying to improve your muscular strength, you should be lifting the higher percent of 1 RM. Let's understand it with an example. Number 1, you describe a weekly muscular strength workout where you plan to train 2 times a week. You plan to train 10 sets per week per muscle groups, and the intensity that you prescribe for every exercise is 8 to 100% of 1 RM. Let's assume for a given exercise, your intensity of 100% of 1 RM is 100 kgs. I'll relate it with me. My capacity of doing squats one time, that is 100% of my 1 RM is 100 kg. So I will use 100 kgs and perform a squat exercise, which will enable me to do only one repetition because that's the intensity I have prescribed. 80% of 1 RM comparing with my 100% of 1 RMs comes to be around 80 kgs. So I will now use 80 kgs of the load to do squats and do 8 repetitions. This method of training to prescribe resistance training intensity is called as person-based training. And though it is very commonly used, you should be aware about its limitation and drawbacks. Drawback number 1, your 100% of 1 RM changes per week due to the training adaptation. So it's very obvious that you are training to get a new baseline. So if you are training with a correct sequence of stimulation and retaining load, you are going to get a new baseline. So your 100% of the 100 kg, which was 100% of 1 RM in this week, it would increase to 110, 105 as a response to the training adaptation. That is what is expected. So when you move to week number 4, week number 3, this 100%, 100 kg, earlier it was 100%, later it may be around 95% or 90% or even 80%. So as you go ahead in your training session, it becomes important for you to know your current percent 100% of 1 RM. Otherwise, the load that you are going to use will not match with the repetition that you prescribe. Another drawback of using person-based training would be this method is not valid when you use lighter load, especially if the load is less than 75% of 1 RM. Let's use another method to describe the intensity of muscular strength training. Here you use the RM method. 10 RM means I would not do more than 10 repetition. So in order to do that, I will choose a load randomly that will make me do not more than 10 repetition. Again, the drawback of using RM method is I need to do every set to failure, which can lead to poor adaptation and it can also lead to overtraining. Though this method is very commonly used, you have to use it with cautious and very mindful to choose the intensity for a given workout. So in summary, you need to describe the training load on per week, per workout, per block of training to monitor whether you are giving a stimulation load, a retaining load or detraining load. A cardio intensity can be classified as low, moderate, vigorous, maximal to near maximal with multiple relative intensity to describe the cardio workouts. Person-based training is a method used to describe muscular strength training load. However, person-based training should be used with cautious due to its limitation to apply at lower intensity, limitation to know the current new 1RM for every exercise, and its requirement to train to failure. Thank you.